Maple Street may look like any other street found in the United States, but when a mysterious event rocks a calm community of neighbors, the summer day turns into a night of madness that'll make you question what kind of monsters are due on Maple Street in The Twilight Zone. As this was the episode that introduced me to The Twilight Zone, I found it fitting that this would be the first episode to discuss. The calm, pleasing community of Maple Street on one late summer evening is shaken by what appears to be a meteor, complemented by an off-screen strobe-like light flashing from the sky. Instantly, the electricity running their technology and appliances ceases, and the community gathers together to discuss what is going on. Although with a young boy named Tommy telling the neighbors of a comic book story he was reminded of about 4 human-like aliens landing on Earth, the imaginations of the neighbors leave them all with their hands on their hips and scapegoating each other into chaos. Maple Street truly has a mastery to it that makes it hard to believe that there was a delayed release due to reshoots and script revisions, but it nevertheless was worth witnessing this episode as the final product. And because of its extensive influence, it's been able to be an educational resource as well as an episode that's been told through various mediums and been parodied and remade as of its release, and deservingly so. All of the ensemble offer incredible exchanges of speech amongst the group as a whole and through internal banter, eye gazes, and going with the flow of the gradual paranoia turned scapegoating that ensues. This specifically occurs through 3 men. Les Goodman, played by Barry Atwater, whose insomnia and automatically starting vehicle are causes for an overnight stakeout and lower confidence in his body language.
You scared, frightened rabbits, you.
Steve Brand, played by character actor Claude Aiken, who has to use his voice to both justify his self-built ham radio and try to ease the worry in the community, and Charlie Farnsworth, played by Jack Weston, who's the troublemaker of conversation and found himself walking backwards into justifying his house lights having a life of their own and the mistaken shooting of neighbor Pete Van Horn. In some given context, Van Horn walks out of the neighborhood to investigate the power outages, only to return later that night. And while there have been some useful light and shadow elements before this point, his silhouetted figure casted by and over the shoulder of the crowd across the street, with soft lighting overhead, is haunting. Additionally, he becomes a foreshadowed device for the story through high-angled shots of his footsteps and an extreme close-up of the hammer on his tool belt. And that repetition is especially satisfactory when the atmosphere of wide shots gets gloomier and the pacing becomes more frantic and methodical. Not to mention the most climactic points having a similar reward for the viewer as well, from the montage of Dutch angles that add to the tense musical score, to the twist of actual aliens dressed in costumes from the film Forbidden Planet at the helm of Maple Street's hot potato game of human life. And for as monologue heavy as this episode can be, there are really good quotes to take away from this episode, including this line regarding the aliens' view on the human race as a whole.
Their world is full of Maple Streets. And we'll go from one to the other and let them destroy themselves.
Seriously, no matter how many times I rewatch this episode and try to take it all in, the ending never fails to give me goosebumps. The 2 other episodes in the series that come to mind and are about mob mentality are The Shelter and I Am the Night, Color Me Black. And while I did enjoy their takes on how those around you can easily conform to a majority, this episode has a chaotic energy to it that resonates and truly is incomparable. Maple Street is a well-established reflection on human prejudice that confronts a reality that can't be ignored and even isolates its characters and the progressive lifestyle they lived within from doing so. You really get to understand these characters for the personality they reveal literally overnight, and the amount of imagination that was able to be produced from average people shines over 60 years after it aired. It's a timeless message that offers inventive camera work, captivating performances, and dialogue emphasis that transformed the New England street on the MGM backlots into an educational tale that's worth repeat viewing.